Grady felt buoyed by the conversation, but also slightly creeped out. Zeke claimed he'd seen his grandfather's ghost rifling through his gun cabinet, but then Zeke also said he'd seen a UFO by the quaddy headlight. Grady didn't believe in ghosts, but Hokuloa Road definitely sounded even more remote than he'd imagined, more like Maine's unorganized territories than the blissful place his surfing buddy had described. He stared out the window and reminded himself that even if this didn't work out, he'd still be able to tell people he'd been to Hawaii. Talking with that girl felt like an omen. A good one, he hoped. Now he knew, or sort of knew, at least one person here. Far below, the blue water was almost purple, dotted with silvery white specks that must be waves. Big ones, if he could see them from this high up. Streamers of cloud flashed past as the plane lost altitude. To the east, a line of rainbow-shaped crescents appeared in the sky. Sundogs. He glanced at the girl across the aisle to tell her to look outside, but the sundogs were already gone. On the horizon, a dark shape emerged from the clouds, then another and another, the more distant Hawaiian islands. Slowly, another larger island filled the horizon. Grady recognized the long curve that formed its south-facing shore, and toward its center, a broad, flattened plain, dull brown and gray. Tall green hills stretched to the east, their slopes carved with deep ravines, black against the green. Above them loomed a vast volcano, its fields and forests sloping down to cliffs that dropped hundreds of feet, to tiny white beaches you would need a helicopter or boat to reach. Before the coastal road began to turn north at the eastern edge of the island, a peninsula extended into the ocean, but more a forested cape than a peninsula. A broad ribbon of black cut through the forest, a lava field, Grady realized, a remnant of the last time the volcano had erupted, hundreds of years ago. The tip of the cape appeared slightly concave, as though a giant's thumb had pressed there. Grady opened his phone to the map of the island, enlarging it to read the name of the land formation below. Hokuloa. The plane banked sharply, giving him a better glimpse of the dormant volcano. A single wispy cloud hung above its flattened peak, like a torn flag. The volcano disappeared as the plane dropped. The city of Li'ula was bigger than he'd expected, the size of Portland. High-rise hotels lined the shore, vast resorts with curated beaches and wharfs built to accommodate cruise ships, all empty. Within seconds, a grid of crowded streets replaced the resorts, apartment blocks, acres of tract housing, a hospital. In the near distance, the airport with its ATC tower and a single long runway. No planes, save a commuter jet parked in front of a small terminal. Past the runway, dusty brown fields stretched into the haze, packed with thousands of parked cars. A flight attendant hurried down the aisle, checking seatbelts. Grady looked out the window again to see the ocean, alarmingly close. He took a deep breath, his heart beating hard, closed, then opened his eyes. He wasn't dreaming. He was really here.